Ooh, that's a heavy arm. Gosh. It is peak bulk season for us here in Canada right now.
You know, real body image.
Real body image. I can take my shirt off.
Yeah.
That's me. It can be a mutual thing. We go for extra. Even the camera girl's laughing. We can go for extra efforts to make people feel comfortable here. Look at the muscles on this guy. He's jacked and he's like, oh, I don't know, man. No, realistic body standards. Yeah. Good. In. All the way out. Sink. Hey patients, today we've got an online transformation coach, but he doesn't just transform the way that you look, he also transforms your entire mindset. I really recommend that you watch this one, especially if you're struggling with your fitness goals or your body image or your mental health or your nutrition goals. I think that this guy could really help you out. As always, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? It's free for you to do. It really helps me out and I'd be very appreciative. Otherwise, have a great rest of your days and please enjoy the video. Parris, it's good to have you in here.
What's going on?
So Parris is a buddy of mine. We go to the same gym together. He's a really, well, I can't stop looking at his eyes every time I see him. But he's a personal trainer and he helps people achieve their goals. And we love that kind of stuff on the channel. So Parris, why don't you kind of tell us, you've never seen a chiropractor before. What are you in for today?
So yeah, obviously I do a lot of lifting and everything like that. So a lot of heavy squats and hinging type patterns like deadlifts and just a lot of weightlifting 5 times a week, I guess. So, and then I work at a computer screen for pretty much the rest of my day because I'm an online coach. So my neck is probably pretty tight and I've never really taken really good care of mobility. So we're going to see, you know, if my arm can go past my head.
Well, yeah, so people these days, well, at least the people that I surround myself with and people who come to this clinic work really, really hard and then we're like sedentary. Okay, like that's what I found, at least in terms of personal trainers, especially if they're online, right? So absolutely, textbook patient, we can take a look and see what we can do today. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to get you to come have a seat on the table over here. All right. You can have a seat. Because you mentioned your neck, so that's kind of where we'll start here. I'm going to get you to start just by rotating as far as you can to the right, please. So we actually have pretty good mobility there. We're able to get to about 90 degrees, as far as you can to the left. Okay, so less on this side. Here we're at about 60, so that's a pretty noticeable difference there. Do you notice the difference in the rotation?
Yeah, and fun fact, when I was younger I had a misalignment in my eyes.
Okay.
So I would hold my neck like this because I couldn't see past like midline without turning my head. So then like my whole life I've pretty much been
really? Okay, interesting.
I got it surgically fixed.
I was going to say, I assume that that's a surgical fix at that point. I'm glad you got that sorted out. You get you bring your right ear down to your right shoulder for me. 45, 50 degrees, good. Left ear, left shoulder. A little bit less, about 35 again, so probably same kind of concept there. Just poking around. You feel tighter on the right to me than you do the left, and that would make sense if you were constantly for years like that. You've just got this learned pattern of keeping more engaged on the right versus the left. That's okay. We can help loosen this up, no problem. Do you see a physical therapist or a massage therapist or anything on a semi-regular basis, or no?
Nope.
No?
I mean, I get a massage maybe once every 6 months.
Well, that's more than me. I'm really bad. I don't get massages. But like, when you do, what do they work on with you?
Like mid-trap area and then like lumbar area.
Okay.
Mostly. Yeah.
Pretty standard stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'll get you to now bring the chin down to the chest for me. Does that provoke anything back here?
Nope.
No? And I'll get you to look up towards the ceiling, please. That's all good too?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, give yourself a tight hug. Tight hug. Rotate as far as you can to the left. Here we get to about 45, not bad, as far as you can to the right. 45. Okay, so upper back seems like it's symmetrical. That's good. I'll get you to stand up for me. Bend down, touch your toes for me. Does that provoke any kind of low back or hip issues at all? Any kind of discomfort there? No?
Nope.
Good. Now come back, bend the other way for me. How's that? That's okay? That looks like it's okay. You went pretty far. Good. Okay. Awesome. Now most people, if it's painful, they'll be like, oh, that feels weird. Now, did you say you have did I hear you say you have hip stuff or no?
Not really.
Okay,
I mean, I'm sure my hip flexors are decently tight, but no real
no
issues
specific.
with
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Let's get your face down, all right?
Yeah.
All right, my hands are going to go on your back now. Okay. If for whatever reason you want them off, you just say stop. My hands come right off. Okay.
Alrighty. Ooh. Yeah.
Ticklish or tender?
It was kind of like a trigger spot. I did hit like a lot of rows like 2 days ago.
Oh, so, we're gonna have fun.
Or actually, no, that was yesterday. So yeah.
We're gonna have lots of fun.
So my back's a little sore. New program.
Very likely that Parris is dealing with some DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, right now, which makes my job a lot more enjoyable because I get to kind of torture him with it. But right now, to my thumbs at least, his lumbar spinal erectors, which are the long muscles that go like this and help him stand up straight, feel like a guitar string. Okay, like I feel like I could play a solo on these. So obviously when I poke that, doesn't feel great to him, but tells me that, yeah, he definitely did a good job of targeting his back if that was his intention. So good job. Knows what he's doing. Had no doubt in my mind, but yeah. So you as an online personal trainer, how many clients have you worked with?
Over, like, in total? Oh, man, like, probably over 150 at this point.
That's very impressive. 150 lives dramatically changed.
Hopefully.
So, get on it. Knocking on wood for you. Hopefully, of course. One right there. That sting a little bit?
Not bad.
Not bad? Okay. Yeah, a little back. How did you fall into doing that?
Well, I started personal training when I was super young, and then I actually went into the pharmaceutical industry after university.
Okay.
But I started building the business on the side. Then it got to the point I just had to choose one, and then I just went all in.
You know what?
So,
as a fellow entrepreneur, I think you made the right decision.
Thanks, man.
Being your own boss, way better than not. So
yeah, and when you're younger, you got high risk tolerance, right? Like,
that's true. I mean, if you do muck up, respectfully, it's not the end of the world. You don't have a mortgage payment. You don't got kids looking for food on the table.
Exactly.
So if you're a younger person watching this and you got a business idea, go for it. All right, give it a shot.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna adjust kind of this middle back right here.
Go for it.
Okay. So to do that, I need you to take a big breath in for me, and all the way out, all the way out. Good. In. All the way out. Good job. So you've never had that done before, have you?
Not by anybody but myself, just doing it.
Just trying to do it to yourself.
Yeah.
One more up top, breath in, all the way out. Well, good job. Relax, very easy, but the middle back is also the easiest to do from the patient perspective. It can get a little bit nerve-wracking when we're doing other parts of the body, just because they aren't familiar with it. So let's move this right aside. I'm going to go ahead and bring you a little bit closer to me. So you've never had your load... Oh, you haven't had any. You got to stop asking that. Of course, you've already answered it. So from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll you towards me, and you're just going to sink into that table.
All right.
How was that?
Good one.
That hurt at all for you or no?
Didn't hurt.
So my butt's going to be right here. So let's just make sure we're not focusing on that unless that's what you guys want.
Hey, you might get more subscribers.
If that's what you guys want, leave it in the comments. Okay? I'll exploit myself for this. That's fine. Okay. Bring this up.
Subscriber overnight.
Oh, yeah. I hope he's watching this. I had a patient comment saying that I look like a Disney prince. The other
you kind of do.
What the?
on steroids, though.
Oh, stop it. Thanks for making my day. Appreciate it. Shout out to you. All right. Breath in. And all the way out. Sink. Good. So a little bit less on that side, but that's okay. We're going to do a little neuro screening here. Keep your arms there. Don't let me move them, okay? Fight. Good. Fight. Awesome. Arms forward. Curl the wrists backward for me. Keep them strong. Well, I like your watch. Fancy. Turn over. Curl wrists back. Curl fingers. Keep them strong. Of course, he's got the weightlifter's callus. Yeah,
yep.
That would make sense. Turn over, fingers straight, and please gently squeeze. Thank you so much. Relax that arm. Fingers twitch. Wrist kicks. And drop that into my... Ooh, that's a heavy arm. Gosh. It is peak bulk season for us here in Canada right now. That arm, that feels like a solid dumbbell right now. Well done. Turn you over there. Keep right there. Relax. Fingers twitch. Wrist kicks. Drop. Good. There we go. Perfect. Well done. All right. Now I'll get you laying on your back. Slide a little close to me, please. Come. Keep coming. I don't bite. Okay.
More of a nibble.
Yeah, just depends if the camera's on or not, right? Yeah. So you, personal trainer, do you have any like favorite memories from your time of like doing this for over a decade now, or
like the in-person stuff, or the now the what I do now?
Either way, whichever you prefer. Like,
I think like right now we had a couple of shows in the summer. Like I coach a lot of physique competitors, and
I think I saw a post of you doing that. But anyways, yeah.
So we had one show where we had like 5 clients all take home medals, and then I also competed with them, and I also got the only medal of my season. I didn't place any other show, but so that was a good memory.
It's okay. It's when all your guys were there, right? So
I lived through my genetically gifted clients. I'm just there to call the shots.
Lucky people. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. And then honestly, when Courtney joined, like my sister full time, that was a cool moment too. Yeah.
Courtney, how are you? I saw you recently followed me on Instagram. Subscribe, whatever. It's follow, right? Follow on Instagram. I think I followed you back, but good to see you. Say hi when you're in town. All right. Okay, so I'm going to adjust your neck now. In order for this to go, I need you to rotate your head as far as you can to the left, and then just pretend you're laying on a pillow in bed, like you're just trying to fall asleep. Good. Awesome. Well done. How was that?
Solid.
A little scary?
I cracked my neck like by myself, which might not be good, but that was better. Felt smoother.
Okay, I'd hope so. I'd really hope so, yeah. If you're a self-adjuster, it's really not that big of a deal. Okay. Some people freak out. They're like, oh, yeah, this is bad for you. It's ever so slightly a higher risk chance of hurting yourself versus having an external force do it, and that's just because of the way that the forces are done. When you do it yourself, you have to generate quite a bit of mass behind your movement, and mass, well, force equals mass times velocity. Mass is what's associated with getting that injury, whereas velocity, less so. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on that left side now. I'm going to relax to that hand there. Good. Great job.
Solid.
You relax so easily. It's I actually don't believe this is your first time getting your neck done. You made that so simple. Good. Okay. So you do have a history of that tightness on this trap, though. Okay.
Definitely.
So we're going to work that. I'm going to get you to sit up for me. Face out the window, please. Okay. So I'm thinking 2 methods here. Okay. We'll start with what I call MRT. Have you heard of that before?
No, but is it something therapy?
Yes, correct. Very good. 33%. We call it a pass here. I'll get you to look up and to the right for me. We're going to take a patented sharpened elbow and get you to now slowly look down and to the left. Go right ahead. As far as you can. Good. Up to right. Slowly down to left. Up to right. Slowly down to left. What's your vision with your personal training business then? Like, you've been doing this for a while, you just took it online so you could reach more people. Like, do you have a goal that you want to reach with that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fully online pretty much since 2021, but I call myself like a more of a transformation coach rather than just personal training.
Okay, transformation coach for you.
Yeah.
No,
that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry. Face forward. Now tilt the right ear to the right shoulder, and now tilt left to left, and then please continue. Left to left. So we're gonna go from here to there.
Gotcha.
There we go, and come back and continue.
Yeah. So the goal is to hopefully start onboarding some other coaches, so I'm not doing all the fulfillment.
Of course.
Because as you could see, as you know, you can't
do it all.
Yeah,
you cannot do it all in your own business.
So that's the next step for us, and then just trying to start putting more into the socials. Now we got our podcast, and like
you got a podcast?
Yeah,
Is that new?
Yeah, it's new. Well, we relaunched it. Before I was just doing client interviews, but
fair enough.
But now we're doing like more informative stuff too.
What are you looking for on that? We should look up and to the left. Same deal on this side, okay? Down and to the right.
Just helping, educate people because there's so much misinformation, especially around nutrition. God. It's absolutely bonkers.
Nutrition, it's hilarious how, because in my opinion, nutrition is simple. Nutrition is actually very simple, but I feel like everybody online likes to find ways to make it so complicated.
Yeah.
Really, and then like you'll get young impressionable people reading the wrong stuff, and congratulations, they've created an eating disorder. So I'm passionate about that because I have patients who've been affected by that exact transpiring event. So if you're talking about nutrition, please understand that there are people reading who are just trusting you. So you need to make sure your research is good and the things you're doing are factual. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I imagine that obviously you do those things. I know Courtney's a nutrition coach as well. I saw that as well. So I imagine she's doing those things because when I knew her, she was a great ethical girl. And I don't think
yeah, no, I know from the get-go we said like we're never going to cut any corners.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, it's doesn't align with how we were raised or our values. So
face forward for me, to left ear to left shoulder, and right to right. Good. What is a nutrition tip that you'd give people, and what's the most not obvious, the most common one you feel like you give out?
Well, most people habitually undereat on protein for like body composition related goals. Like if people actually track their protein intake, they would realize they really don't eat that much. Secondly is honestly also most people don't even eat any fruits and veggies, so their fiber intake is like
very
1 gram per day, which apart from keeping you full and also like your digestion and everything, there's other health benefits too. So, but yeah, those are like the two most basic things that I see.
Isn't the needed protein something like, is it 0.7 or 0.8 to 0.2 grams per lean body weight? I can't remember.
I go by body weight, and then I adjust based on like how like the body fat percentages typically and their goals. Yeah. There's a lot of nuances, but anywhere from like 0.7 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight.
Fair.
Which is good. Okay. If you're overweight, start in the lower range. If you're leaner, you can go in the higher range.
Hope you guys are listening though. Tool wise, we're talking about these things, but I also know that you said you were hesitant about taking your shirt off because you're peak bulking season. I don't know if you're serious. I don't know if that was a joke.
Half.
Yeah,
but I don't mind being like on my stomach and like.
So the thing is to get it because I didn't realize that this is where your attention actually is.
Yeah.
To get at this, the traps come forward and actually fold forward here.
Yeah.
So I can't get at that if you're face down. I need you sitting up. So I could get you facing the wall if you prefer that. Or
sure, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So you're comfortable going shirt off? You can face the wall there.
We're trying to spread, real body image.
Real body image. I can take my shirt off. It can be a mutual thing. We go for extra. Even the camera girl's laughing. We can go for extra efforts to make people feel comfortable here. Yeah. Look at the muscles on this guy. He's jacked and he's like, oh, I don't know, man. No, realistic body standards. Yeah.
Did you draw these?
I wish. I did do a lot of anatomy drawings when I was in school. I had to because I'm a visual learner.
Oh, okay. But
they weren't on chalkboards like that.
Yeah, fair. I was lucky. I got to do a full cadaver dissection in for a full year course.
Really?
In undergrad, yeah. So we dissected a full human body, which sounds gross to most people, and it kind of is.
Hey, I did it too in Chiro school.
Yeah, you learn. Yeah. There's no other better way to learn. So.
Absolutely, and it really is surreal when you are we're gonna get a little bit morbid here, but when you are cutting into a cadaver, a person who's passed away, we are. This is gonna sound so bad. We really are just meat. Okay, we're flesh that happens to have consciousness. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but it really is humanizing and makes you realize that what you do matters and also kind of doesn't. So if you're beating yourself up over something, don't worry about it. But don't just sit on your ass and you're gonna be on the table someday. That's so morbid. That's so morbid, but it's also so true.
We're just little specks floating around a tiny globe in a vast array of never-ending infinity of space.
I feel like we need gummies if this conversation keeps going like that. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind: you have a ton of redness here, and I've probably done that for about 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you had scraping or cupping done before?
Nope.
Okay, so this is super normal. Okay, and this isn't something to be concerned about. Although the first time you see it, you're gonna go "Oh my God, what did I let that chiropractor do to me?"
Yeah.
Okay, but even Jet, you can say that's a lot. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm not gonna just keep beating blindly when we get a lot of fascia coming, a lot of petechia coming up like this. Okay, we're gonna let that heal up, then we're gonna go back, we're gonna hit it again, we're gonna keep doing that. What we're gonna find is that there's gonna be less petechia and less petechia and less petechia as we keep working it until eventually we finally get some calming of this area, because again, I want to get rid of that noticeable asymmetry between those two sides. Okay, you can put your shirt back on for me. See, that was quick and painless, right?
Definitely.
And you can go face down one more time. We'll use the massage gun here.
Sure.
Where's my massage gun? There it is.
I've never seen one with the arm supports.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. No, I just like not having my patient's shoulders cranked into rotation so they can lay face down.
Yeah.
Alright, now seeing a chiropractor or seeing any other manual therapist on a semi-regular basis is obviously good for you. But what's even better is the fact that you're already physically very active. Okay? So keep doing that, obviously. Don't stop. But when you do exercise after you've been adjusted or been manually worked in any manner, that helps you to sustain the benefits for longer. Okay? So you as a person who's just kind of, hey, you got that tightness, sure, but like as a healthy, active individual, you wouldn't need to see any kind of practitioner more than once a month. Okay? So if you're a super healthy person, you don't have many pains to report, maybe just some stiffnesses, you don't need an overloaded or bloated treatment plan if you do go see any kind of practitioner. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Do you have any kind of, you can sit up.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of questions for me at this point? Anything else that you want to talk about or touch on at all? You can plug your business if you want to. Yeah, no, please.
Yeah.
Especially if you're online, right? Because anybody could click on this and, get transformed.
Yeah, check out our website, truthbodysystems.com, all socials, Truth Body Systems, on Instagram, at Parris_truth. We just get people in kick-ass shape while working a lot on their mindset in a sustainable way. There's my plug, but...
Love that.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think about what other questions people have that would lift, I guess. Anything they should think about in terms of mobility around training, because a lot of clients ask for, like, should I be doing mobility before or after? What kinds of things? Like, is that individualized based on the kind of complications the person has, or is there some blanket things you typically give?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, like, everybody's going to have their own individual treatment plans, right? Like, if somebody has hip issues, they're going to need to spend more time with the hips, right? The thing is that issues in one area don't always present within that area. They can appear in other parts of the body. So I did just say hip, but one of the most common things that I see here is that a person might have a hip issue, but they're getting low back pain. So they think that they have a low back problem, when in reality their hip isn't rotating, so you put more strain through the lumbar spine, and then it presents just that way.
Gotcha.
So I always say mobility first, warm up everything, because if everything's moving to its full range of motion, you're not going to get irresponsible compensation happening. Of course, if that seems confusing to you, if you have low back pain or like hip pain, I would probably just go get it checked by somebody who's an expert in that kind of movement stuff, because you, just as a person who doesn't have the training, the schooling, your best guess is, it's probably something wrong with my back. And that's fine, because that's the normal conclusion we come to.
For sure.
Great question. Great question. Any others, or? You don't have to have them. I don't know.
I'm trying to think about like what kind of questions like my archetype would think of. I guess a lot. You might have gotten this one before, but a lot of people ask about, my kids. Yeah. Should I tell my kids not to lift until they're like 14? I obviously have my answer, but I want to hear.
No, I love this one. So this. I love you, Mom, but my mom did the same thing. She was very, very nervous about like having me lift weight, that it would compress. And I can understand the reasoning there, because as children you have growth plates in your bones, and you think if you're heavily loading the spine, you're going to compress those growth plates. But also, resistance training in kids it's a phenomenal hobby to get them into, that's going to set them up for healthy habits the rest of their lives. A great example of this is when I was in high school. Okay, we'll bring back a personal anecdotal example here. I wasn't like a super sporty kid, but eventually I found weight training. And weight training is something I've been able to do individually myself through my entire life. And now, as a 30-year-old male, I definitely think I'm above par on the health and fitness aspect, whereas I look back on the kids who are only involved in sports, and regretfully, they're not. They've kind of fallen apart. They're starting to get aches and pains, right? So if you're a parent watching this, you have kids in sports, great, but I'd really recommend you do get them involved in some form of individualized strength training, because that's what's going to set them up for a long and functional life. Is that the same kind of answer that you would go for?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, all the kids I know who start lifting early, like, it only had positives,
Exactly.
for their life.
There were no negatives that I could think
Yeah.
of. Actually, in the last video too, when we had Taylor on here, we were talking about the benefits of resistance training in teenage girls who were having mental health issues, right? Where the effects are greater than antidepressants. That is legit.
Crazy.
That has been documented. That is studied. That is true. So especially true if you have daughters, not just your sons. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Like for mental health, I always tell people, like, if you're not sleeping well, not training, not walking, you're not stacking the cards in your favor. Do I think mental health, problems are a real thing? Absolutely. I've had them myself as well. But I do think, like, we want to stack as many cards in our favor as possible. And if you're training regularly, sleeping well, doing your steps, getting sunlight, eating right too, it's like you're really stacking a lot of those cards in your favor, and it does help, like, tremendously. So I tell people, even if training didn't change my body whatsoever, I'd keep my habits pretty much the exact same, just for my mental game. Sometimes the gym is just releasing some energy, and as guys 100%. We suck at talking about things a lot of times.
That's so true.
And you find a lot of guys take out their frustrations in self-deprecating behaviors, like drugs and
alcohol,
stuff like that.
Irresponsible sexual activities, like driving cars way too fast. I don't know why that one came.
No, it's true. It's true. So get in there, lift, and that's it. I don't know.
No. Honestly, it was a great tangent. I love tangents. I love the authenticity of these conversations. But Parris, it was great having you in.
Yeah,
really appreciate
you
taking the time
for having me. Yeah, this is good.
Can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, it was awesome. I feel loose and ready to lift tomorrow.
Perfect.